Sometimes photography is not about doing anything revolutionary or brand new. Sometimes it's just about chilling out with your camera and some lighting and experimenting with a bit of still life. I'm Ben from Adaptalux, and this is how to photograph seashells. Anybody that's ever been to the beach has felt that temptation to pick up some little shells from the sand. I've got some nice little seashells just here, and they all have unique shapes and patterns on them. All I want to do today is document each of these little shells and find a nice way to present them in a photograph. It sounds really simple, but actually we're going to be getting some advanced lighting techniques under our belt and using our macro skills to focus stack all of these shells for maximum detail. So I've got a nice little selection of seashells just here, and I'm going to be presenting them just like this on a little cocktail stick. This means that I can place the shells at different angles and have them in front of the camera at the right height. It also means that the amount of Photoshop that's required to remove that cocktail stick from the image, well, is going to be quite minimal. In fact, we can just cut around it and it'll look like the shell is floating in the middle of some nice black space, which is exactly what I want, because I want to do a little bit of, well, experimental editing here to make these shells stand out. So the next thing that I need to do is place my camera and take a look at my lens setup. This is nice and easy. I've got a Sony a7 III with the Sony f2.8 100mm macro lens on the front here. This is a really nice lens for this kind of distance. Gives us a lot of working distance, but it also gives us a lot of magnification to fill the frame with our shells. I don't think I'll need any more magnification than this, so it's going to be perfect. I also want to focus stack today, so I do have a focus stacking rail just here. This is a Nisi focus stacking rail, which means I'm just going to manually move the camera back and forth in order to stack these photos. The last thing that I need for this shot to be complete is a bit of lighting, and this is probably the most complicated aspect of our shoot today. As you can see, our shell is currently very underexposed. I've done that deliberately because we're going to be adding some light into this scene, and we need to expose for the final image, not for the current situation. So I'm going to be adding a bit of light from the Adaptalux Studio. This is the Control Pod 3, and it has these 5 ports in the front. I'll be placing that on a little mini tripod just behind the subject. Into those ports, we're going to plug these flexible lighting arms. This one is a white lighting arm with a diffuser attached, and I'm going to plug that straight into this port just here, and you'll see that it illuminates quite nicely, and we now have a light that we can bend around and place really precisely to be exactly where we want it on our shell. This is going to be the front light, the key light that is going to show us all of those details and the colour on the shell, but we're not quite finished yet. I do also want to add a backlight. Because shells are slightly translucent, I think it would be really interesting to actually shine some light at the back of the shell and have it produce this sort of inner glow. Now, this is not particularly natural, of course, and it will actually complicate our exposure a little bit, but I think that that is a much more interesting shot than the shot with just the front light. Having that little glow from the inside brings through a lot more of the color and the texture from the shell itself. Once this is focus stacked, I think this is going to be a really cool still life shot of the shell. The next step is going to be replicating this shot for all of the different shells. We do have different shapes, different colors, and most importantly, different types of shell that have, well, this one is almost entirely black. So our exposure is going to have to change, and our lighting will have to adapt to the different types of shells. First of all, I'm going to focus stack this shot and make sure that we've got a really nice template that we can then apply to all of the different shells. swapping to different shells is pretty easy. I'm literally just hanging these shells on top of the cocktail stick here. But as you can see, not every single shell suits the same lighting, and that is where the joy of this flexible lighting comes in. I can simply start to experiment with where that glow and reflection is coming from. So we don't want it to be too pronounced and overpowering, but we do want a little bit of that glow to be in every single shot. So just moving the lighting by a few centimeters or millimeters even every time is providing each shell with its own unique lighting that sort of fits the same format. We're not going too crazy and changing absolutely everything, but we do need to slightly adjust for each shot, and the flexible arms really allow for this. It just takes, as you can see, a few seconds to go from one shell and one shot to the next shell and the next shot with minor adjustments to the lighting. We can also adjust the power of each of these individual arms, although for each of these shots it's really much of a muchness so far. I suspect for some of the darker shells we might need to adjust some of the balance from front to back lighting. Many of you will be wondering how I got that really dark black background. The glare from the lights notwithstanding, that is a completely black background, and it's not done with any kind of backdrop. It's all in the lighting and the exposure. So if you remember back to my very first exposure of the shells, everything was really dark, really underexposed, and that was deliberate. I exposed the background so that it was completely dark, kind of ignoring the subject and how it looks in that moment, because I knew that we were going to add some light. So once you've exposed for a completely black background, then you add some light to the subject only. Ignoring the background, don't add any light to the back, and your background will stay black, but your subject will start to be illuminated. So lighting only your subject and leaving the background completely dark is actually surprisingly easy. It can get a little bit trickier if you have really high ambient light or something bright in the background of your shot. You might then need to add a black backdrop just to make things a little bit easier for yourself, but it's all about adding as much light as possible to your subject so that everything else, by comparison, is much, much darker. I do actually have a full video explaining this technique. I will link it up in the top right hand corner and down in the description for you if you want a little bit more information about how to achieve that pure black backdrop without an actual black backdrop. I was right about this little black one. It's been very tricky to balance out the light here because it's not as translucent as the other shells. These white ones let a lot of light through their shell, and this black one really doesn't, except for the tip. So the tip is glowing a lot more than the rest of it, but I think I found a position here where we're almost looking straight on with the backlight and then also straight on with the front light. So the lighting on this one might be slightly different, but I think it still gives the same effect, and it still presents all of that detail in a really nice way. In terms of our editing, there's really not a lot to do. We just need to remove that cocktail stick, of course, and then we can start playing around with the crop and position of the shells in the frame. We might also need to remove a little bit of glare from the lights if they were in a position that suited the shell but didn't really suit the lens. Then we can just black out the background or whatever's left in that black space. One thing that you might want to do is simply select the shell. If you select the shell using the AI selection tools in Photoshop, as long as you've separated your shell and your background, Photoshop should have absolutely no problem deciding what is the subject and what is the background. Once you've done that, the world is your oyster, or the world is your shell, I suppose. You can move your shell around, you can completely change the background to whatever you wish, and something that I really like to do is simply black out the background and maybe add a little gradient. The radial gradient I think looks really nice with subjects that are completely black. It just adds a little bit of more interest so it doesn't look like the shell is simply floating in black space. Maybe you like that floating look, I'll leave that up to you, but for now I'm going to play around with these and come up with a few different compositions and apply them to all of the shells. I want these to be a nice series of images that all look the same. I've had a really fun afternoon playing around with these little shells. They're really small, so they're still a bit of a challenge for newbies to macro photography, but it's a really great starting point where you've got plenty of time to figure out what you want your shot to look like, figure out your lighting, and of course place that lighting in the exact right place for each of these different shells. It really does make a difference, even millimeter to millimeter, where that light is. I'm sure you noticed as I was placing that light that the shadows change across the front of the shells, the placement of the highlights on the inside of the shells change as the light moves. So it really is worth taking your time to experiment with your light, your placement of your light, and of course the backgrounds, the editing, and everything else that goes into a shoot like this. I really enjoy hearing from you guys, so make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section and hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. Hit subscribe for lots more macro photography tutorials, ideas and inspiration coming in the future. But for now, that is all I've got time for. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.